Welcome back to the third episode of Full Throttle with the Gent. Today is February 14th. That can only mean one thing. Duels at Daytona. Now, yes, it could also mean Valentine's Day, but to that. It's duel day. Okay? It's race day. We have a lot of news to talk about. And before we begin, I'd like to congratulate Matt Hirschman on a wonderful victory yesterday at New Smyrna in the John Blewett Memorial race. It was a really, really good race. And if you'd like to watch it, it is on this channel, so be my guest. There was a little problem with their feed last night. About 20 laps to go, lap 50, it seemed to cut out and then came back on at lap 60. Oh well. At least we got to see the ending, right? Alright, in sponsorship news.
Great news out of Mooresville, North Carolina, and Front Row Motorsports. Today announced an expanded partnership with Citgo Petroleum Corporation at its Citgard brand that began last season with David Reagan with the number 38 team. The Citgard brand is the primary sponsor in the number 38 Ford Mustang throughout the season. David Reagan will carry the Citgard colors at the events at Las Vegas Motor Speedway in March, Michigan International Speedway in June, and the Charlotte Motor Speedway Road Course in September. The brand will also be featured as an associate sponsor all season. Citgard began its partnership last season with FRM at Darlington Raceway, paying tribute to Dale Jarrett during the annual Throwback Weekend with a red and white scheme. The popular feedback from race fans and success of the program led to the increased commitment with FRM and Reagan this season. So that's good news for Front Row Motorsports.
Well, congrats to Front Row Motorsports. That's great news for them. Sponsorship is much needed, and a lot of big-time sponsorships seem to be leaving the sport, such as Lowe's and whatnot. So when a big company like Citgo comes aboard, it's pretty cool. So good for them. Let's move on to truck and Xfinity news.
The Truck Series will be qualifying just before their race on Friday, February 15th. The truck race will be at 7:30 on FS1 on February 15th, of course, at Daytona. So, since we don't have the qualifying results, we do have the entry list for the 20th annual Next Era Energy Resources 250 at Daytona with the NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series. 40 trucks entered. Some names on here stand out to me. Of course, Harrison Burton, Spencer Boyd, Travis Quapple trying to come back. Pretty good to see. His crew chief is yet to be announced, nor his sponsor. Timothy Peters, Ross Chastain in the 45. That's going to be good for Nice Motorsports. In the 32nd entry, Natalie Decker. Her name will be mentioned a lot in the upcoming season. This will be her first truck race for her career. I see Bobby Gerhart, the ARCA driver, coming in here to make to make the show. That's a pretty good list. Let's move on to Xfinity. Still do not have the qualifying list for the 38th annual NASCAR Racing Experience 300 at Daytona for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but we do have the entry list. 38 cars seems to be on this updated list for the show. That means everyone should make it in. Now, I do notice that a few cars do not have a driver listed. I do see some notable names on here, though. Chase Elliott is going to be in the 8 car for Junior Motorsports. Noah Gragson is going to be in the 9 again for Junior Motorsports. Ross Chastain in the 10. It's good to see him have a full weekend. He's going to run all 3 series. Gentleman I used to work for, Mike Harmon, is in the field. My friend Garrett Smitley is going to be in here as well. Let's see any more. Brad Keselowski is going to be in the 12 for Team Penske. Jeff Green returning back to NASCAR in the 93. Any other people stand out? Jeffrey Earnhardt with Joe Gibbs Racing in the number 19. Sponsored by Juniper. That's great to see. Justin Allgaier returns to the 7 car. He's going to look to have another wonderful season. Michael Annett has been announced to drive the one car for Junior Motorsports, and the pilot Flying J Chevrolet. So that's it's going to be a good Xfinity Series race. That's a star-studded field. Let's all move on right here. Moving on to the starting lineup for the Gander RV Duel 1 first race starting at 7 p.m. This today is William Byron, Jimmy Johnson in row 1. Row 2 got Daniel Hemrick and Martin Truex Jr. Row 3, Brad Keselowski and Paul Menard. Row 4 has Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick. Row 5, Tyler Reddick and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Row 6, Daniel Suarez and Chris Buescher. Row 7, Ryan Newman, Ryan Truex. Row 8, Ryan Preece and Matt DiBenedetto. Row 9 is Bubba Wallace and Matt Tiff. Row 10 is Parker Kligerman and Landon Castle. And rounding out the field row 11 is number 52, Cody Ware. Now, I have to point out that William Byron won the pole for the Daytona 500. He does have to race in this duel, but he could just fall back. But he's a racer, so I doubt he will. It'd be smart just to fall back, let them do their thing, and save the car, because you don't have to race yourself in like the other 20 drivers. He's safe, and it's going to be the same thing for the second Gatorade duel, which I will put up here. The starting lineup for Gander RV Duel 2. I apologize. In row 1, Alex Bowman in the 88. And starting second is the 9 of Chase Elliott. Row 2 is Joe Logano and Clint Boyer. Row 3, Austin Dillon and Denny Hamlin. Row 4, Eric Jones and Ryan Blaney. Row 5, Eric Almirola and Kurt Busch. Row 6, David Reagan and Michael McDowell. Row 7, Casey Mears and Jamie McMurray. Row 8, Brendan Gaughan and Kyle Larson. Row 9, Ty Dillon, Ross Chastain. Corey LaJoie and BJ McLeod in row 10. And row 11, Joey Gase. Now, again, Alex Bowman, he's starting on the front row of Daytona 500. He doesn't need to race his way in. But, they have to start this race. He should just fall right to the back. Save the equipment. You don't want to get Jimmy Johnson, I'm going to make a lot of people mad with that statement. I'm just kidding. But yes, this race will actually be at 8:45 today, Thursday the 14th. I do have something special to show you. So here's something special for you. Here are the pit selections for Duel 1. William Byron has the first pit all the way near heading towards turn 1. And then it looks like Daniel Hemrick and then Martin Truex Jr. and so forth backwards. So if you have your favorite driver in the first duel race, here is his pit stall selection. Here is Duel 2 selection. Chase Elliott is at the second, which is interesting. Okay, now the second starter, Alex Bowman, who doesn't have to race his way into the 500 because he's starting on the front row already, chose the 20th pit stall, which is actually a really good choice. Because if you look at the 19th stall, it's blacked out. So that means there is nobody in front of him for 2 spots. Because there's the opening next to the 11 and the black spot for there. That's where you would enter garage area. So he could just drive right out and in because there's a black spot behind him. Now, these vacant pit stalls, they will count towards driving through more than 3 pit boxes. NASCAR has a rule that you can't drive through more than 3 pit boxes, so they have to be careful of that as well. But that pit stall That pit selection is fantastic. That is perfect. He's going to be smooth sailing in that duel number 2.
Y'all, there's the news I have for today. Waiting to hear for qualifying results for the truck race and whatnot. If I get them in a reasonable amount of time, I will put them on here for another episode of Full Throttle. But thank you for watching. Enjoy the races tonight. Fox Sports 1, 7 o'clock, and then 8:45 for the second race. Again, enjoy the races. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon.